Well, well, well. What's going on? Friday afternoon, Friday, September the 19th. What are we doing live on the air on a Friday? What's going on? So, a couple of things going on. I did get my iPhone 17 Pro Max today. And I have shot the very first ProRes RAW on an iPhone. Now, I posted a video last week and I said you have to have an external drive in order to record ProRes RAW on a new iPhones. The video's up on my YouTube channel. You can check it out there. And I'll just add some comments here. Our friend Alista from Jamaica, greetings from Iowa. Good evening. Hey from London, please show us the app in full and non-full screen as well. Congratulations, thank you. I'm not sure what I'm getting congratulated for. Let me do this real quick. I got to put that over there. I got the wrong. Here we go. Now we're good. No. What are you doing here to me? There. Okay. Let me do this. Oh, I got so many screens to worry about. Here we go. Alrighty. Good evening from Hungary, Budapest. Look, we're going to have 100 people over here today, probably dealing with this. Hello from Brazil. People from all over the globe, as usual. Now, we're going to talk about what's going on for today with hi from Italy. Thank you very much for tuning in. We already got like 40, 50 people watching live. Hello from Wales. Thank you, everybody. Please say your name, or if your name's not in your tag, and tell us where you're from. That always makes a big difference to these live streams because there's a lot of new people, and I don't know where you're from. We got people from all over: Italy, Wales, Brazil, Budapest, Iowa, Jamaica. Iowa's in the United States, of course. So I said to myself, that's my DJI, we will talk about exactly what's going on with this update. I mean, it's obvious it's an iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max update. Warsaw, Poland, absolutely. Chile. Hi from Liverpool. Wow, Liverpool, what an iconic place to be living. I love very much Final Cut Pro, forever Final Cut Pro from the Netherlands, of course. The update is not so special, but I am still excited because this lack of feature updates can only mean something big will come. They are cooking something. Well, I posted yesterday and I said they've got to do an update for the iPhone. They just have to, because there's features that you can't access unless you got an updated version of Final Cut Pro on the Mac. The iPad version, I'm not involved with that. So I thought it was going to come out yesterday because Thursday is the most common day that Final Cut Pro is updated. It didn't come out yesterday. And then I said, well, the odds of it coming out on a Friday are not that big because they've never done Fridays before. But I knew they had to have an update for the iPhone 17 Pros and Pro Maxes. There's no way they were getting away from not doing an update for that. So they called it 11.2. That doesn't... Look, that's just what it is. Jeff Hall from Hollywood. Another person from Budapest, absolutely. Absolutely. So the best feature in this update, the release of the corrected icon on dock, okay? I didn't follow the icon strategy that much, but there you go. So the people that are new to this stream, we will have another live stream tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time. That's our normal time for Final Cut TV. Forever not getting a decent update to Logic Pro, always Final Cut. The Logic Pro updates are usually much more than Final Cut Pro's update. I'm afraid from Mac OS Tahoe. I am not on Tahoe right now. I'm on Sequoia. I did update a separate volume. I have an updated volume on my hard drive, my Mac Mini Pro hard drive. I have a 2 terabyte, and I did a separate volume for Tahoe. Yeah, the update icon for those of us without the new iPhone. I see. So I posted a video earlier this week or late last week, I forget which, and I said, you're going to need an external drive in order to record ProRes RAW. It's got over 1,000 views on my YouTube channel. And some people on there were saying, no, the 2 terabyte version of the iPhone is going to be able to record ProRes RAW, and I don't think it can. I don't have a 2 terabyte, I have 1 terabyte. But I've seen nobody of all the reviewers on YouTube that lets you enable to record internally to the new iPhones. You need an external drive. Could it be that the reason for not having added support for audio mix in Final Cut Pro is because they believe it's not to sound professional enough? It's an option. There's lots of things in Final Cut that aren't really that professional. They have old plugins and stuff in there, so it's an option. It does sound, it gives you 4 distinct sonic qualities to your recording on an iPhone. There's no reason it shouldn't be in Final Cut Pro that I know of. What am I? Am I a programmer? No, I'm not a programmer. Okay, so let's do a couple of things. I'll show you a little video I did this morning. And where is that exactly? Is RAW working with my iPhone 12? No, you need an iPhone 17 Pro or 17 Pro Max to get ProRes RAW. So no, it's not working on any other phone but the 17. This is specifically a 17. Very specifically. So I did this little video this morning. I'm going to play this for you. This is my setup for
Here I am
recording. This is my iPhone 16 Pro Max, but it's the same setup I used to record today. It's got a Lexar 2 terabyte SSD. It's got the Hollyland Lark receiver on there for Pro Audio. Turn that off. And that's the setup that I have. Let me turn that off now. Where in the heck is that? We don't want that. Huh, that's odd. I did this little video this morning. We'll watch this one real quick. That was me waiting on my iPhone to be delivered. Is Apple Log 2? That's a good question. Only for the iPhone 17 Pro. Is it better? Did anyone test it? I shot I shot a test footage specifically for this broadcast. I'm going to shoot some more tomorrow morning for Final Cut TV and Coffee tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We got 50 people watching live right now. Let us know where you're from, which part of the world. I don't know about Log 2. I do not know what's going on with Log 2. And we're going to be on tomorrow. I'm going to shoot more footage tomorrow morning. I just wanted to get a quick version for tonight. Look, iPhone 17 Pro Max, Austria. Thank you for telling me. I am from Austria. Thank you very much. So I got the iPhone 17 Pro Max. I got the dark blue, but I got a black case, so it looks like it's black because they didn't have a black version this time, or a dark gray, or whatever they want to call it. I'm waiting the arrival of my Hohem V3 Ultra gimbal with next few days. It has arrived in Denmark now. So placed an order for the Lexar combo you have, as it was continued not in stock though. I found it on Amazon.
3:18 p.m.
I found it on Amazon. I'm waiting for the audio mixer. Yeah, absolutely. This Final Cut Pro 11.2 is not a full update. It's specifically an update for the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. It's very specific for those two. It could have been 11.1.2 or 11. Whatever they wanted to call it. They decided to call 11.2. That's fine. That means 11.3 hopefully will be a fuller update. This is an update for the iPhone 17 Pro Max. As a iPhone 17 Pro Max user, am I glad? Of course I am. I'm very, very glad. Very glad. So let's go over here. I'm going to go over here, and we are going to, let me see what I want here. Here we go. Well, do I want to do that, or do I want to do, let's go over here. I'm going to turn myself over here. This is, well, a little bit of footage that I shot right before we came on the air. This is with the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and this is with the Hollyland microphone, and this is ProRes Log with the Final Cut Camera 2.0 app. Let's just take a look. So Eric says, well, let's answer his question first. So when will the next feature update, spring? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that. That would be a long time to wait for features besides the iPhone 17 features. It really would. That would mean an entire year, except for the iPhone 17. Now, the iPhone 17 affects some people, but not 100%. Should I install the new Final Cut upgrade if I only have an iPhone 12? Back up your current version of Final Cut before you do anything. Back up your current version of Final Cut Pro in the applications folder so you have the old version if you decide to update. Back up any important projects. Back up any important libraries. I found the Lexar combo on sale on Amazon as well, but it sold out the moment here in Europe. Only had to pay like 20 euro or more. Yeah, I found it on, I've had this one for over a year. I've had this one for over a year. Now, I bought a second one because it was on sale. So I have two 2 terabyte Lexar SSDs, and I have the dock, the mini dock and everything. So let's go back to, you should need that new Final Cut Pro icon on your dock. So there's our friend Jacob. Hey there, great new updates an iPhone day, absolutely. Jacob and I have been messaging back and forth because we're both getting new iPhones today. Could you maybe give us iPhone 17 ProRes RAW footage to download so we can play around with it a bit? I will do that, but not today, because today I'm getting ready to wind down and have dinner and stuff. I will shoot some more tomorrow. That's a good point. Thank you for saying that. And I will make iPhone 17 ProRes RAW footage available for download, but I'll do it tomorrow. I'm not going to do it tonight. I don't have time to do it tonight. I'll pick out some clips and let anybody that wants to download it want to play around with it. But let's go watch. Let's go. This is not going to be an extensive tutorial or anything. It's not that extensive. So thank you for mentioning it. I didn't even think about it. Thank you for mentioning it. I will do some ProRes RAW footage tomorrow morning before we come back on Final Cut TV Live, and I'll post the link at Final Cut TV Live, which is tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock Eastern. 10 o'clock Eastern, we'll be back on the air, and I'll be on there longer tomorrow. Right now, we got like 60 people watching. If anybody's watching from X platform, chime in. I don't see anybody made any comments. Oh, there's our friend Jeff Hall from Hollywood. Everybody else is from YouTube and Facebook. Anybody from the X platform? Well, let me go over there and see. Yeah, 18 people over there on the X platform. One of you 18 people do a comment so I can make sure the comments are working from the X platform. I haven't seen them yet. Okay. Very, very cool. We'll be back on tomorrow morning for sure. Let's go back over here. So here we are in Final Cut Pro 11.2. And this is footage that I shot. I'm going to play a little bit. This is just raw footage. All right, here we are. I am recording for the first time. Final Cut Pro 10.4 just came out on a Friday, no less. But since it didn't come out yesterday, today makes complete sense. We were filming with my brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max. We're filming with the brand new Final Cut Camera 2.0 app that enables ProRes RAW recording to an external drive. I'm using the Lexar 2 terabyte drive. Just wanted to do a quick video so we can look at some of the controls on Final Cut TV Live tonight. We're going live in a short while. And what do you think? This is the first time I've filmed. I just got my phone a few hours ago. It's been all set up. I'm recording with a Hollyland Lark Max 2 and into a Lexar 2 terabyte SSD, which is necessary for recording. Lexar. Listen to how clear that audio is. That's the new Hollyland microphone that I recorded on. It is loud and clear. It is loud and clear. Let's go back. We'll come back to this in 1 minute. Answer some questions. Alexander from Dominican Republic, thank you very much. Is ProRes RAW only recorded internally through Apple Camera app? It is not recorded internally on any app. And I had a video up for a week that said that ProRes RAW is only recorded to an external SSD, period. No, it's not recorded internally to any iPhone. Maybe that'll change in the future, but not right now. I hope that Final Cut Pro will never have a monthly fee on my desktop. put it in the feedback so they know, but they do know. Oh, you're recording in 32-bit float since your audio isn't clipping? Absolutely. Why not? Why not record in 32-bit? All my microphones, wireless microphones, except for one backup, which is only 24. Yes, 32-bit. Everything I do is in 32-bit as I can. So, and the Hollyland transmits 32-bit to the phone. There's a tiny little receiver. I don't have it here. I'll show it tomorrow. Tiny little receiver. You plug into the phone. It's a receiver, and it transmits 32-bit to the phone. So yes, it does. Now that little clip was recorded on the Final Cut Camera 2.0 app. Let me just go back to that a minute. Here we go. Let me go back. Excuse me. So here we go. Here we go. Let's just watch a little more of this. For recording ProRes RAW. What do you think? I'm recording with the brand new Final Cut Camera 2.0 and Final Cut Pro for the Mac 11.2. ProRes RAW for the very first time. I think I'm going to like this. ProRes. So here's the reason that I didn't get a 2 terabyte SSD is because, let me just, oh, I'm at the wrong place. The reason I did not get a 2 terabyte SSD is because you need an external drive to record ProRes RAW. I said, why would I get a 2 terabyte SSD? I got a 1 terabyte, and I have two 2 terabyte SSDs that I can plug in external, and these things are tiny. Oh, I have it plugged in over there right now. This is the dock. It doesn't add much weight. It works on a gimbal so far, although I am looking at the Insta360 Pro gimbal. If it comes out, I'd like to get a higher payload. Right now, they top out at 300, except for that new one, Hohem, that has up to 400. So I'll be looking at that, but I'm going to wait for the Insta360 and see what they do first. Yes, I am recording. So here's, let's go down here. Here's how you access the controls for accessing ProRes RAW is actually a HUD. It's actually a HUD. It's not in the inspector. So here we go over here, and you go over to here. Now I have mine on extended, as you can see. Actually, I'm off a little bit right here. I'm on extended. Go to the bottom, and you have modify ProRes RAW settings. So that's a pop-up window. It's kind of interesting. And here is where you have all your settings for ProRes RAW, at least for the time being. I like these HUD windows rather than the inspector. I like them better because I can pull it down to the timeline, and I'm not going from here all the way up to here and from here all the way up to here. I have a HUD. And as you can see, it says ProRes iPhone ProRes RAW, which this is. Let's see what some of the controls do, as you might expect. So ISO, there's a higher ISO and higher. Of course, I don't want it that high, so I'm going back to 100. That looks more natural. Exposure bias, is that what it says? Exposure bias. So the exposure bias, now this is affecting the raw data, okay? This is affecting the raw sensor data. What does that say? As shot white balance. Turn that off. So there's as shot white balance. If you don't want that, it looks more saturated to me. So either way, color temperature. You can do a tint. Demosaic, you have standard and custom. Now, I don't know enough about demosaicing to get into that. Let's see what custom brings up. Color noise. It's doing something. Edge contrast. Something, what does that say? Detail enhancement. You got all kind of controls here. I'm going to put it back to standard. Raw to log. Oh, here we go. I'm going to go to Apple Log 2. Oh, I don't want to do that. So that's interesting. So that, yeah. So if you're going to apply a LUT, necessary for recording ProRes RAW. What do you think? Let's go back and answer some questions. Did Blackmagic already add this to Resolve? Yes, they do. Resolve 20.2. 20.2 it's added ProRes RAW, and it's added to the camera app as well today. Can you set it to ProRes log and then add a custom LUT? Let's try it. Yeah, I presume that's exactly what you can do, right? I presume that's exactly what you can do. So let's do that. Let's set it to ProRes log 2 and then go back to here, do a search for LUT, custom LUT. Sorry, I got it back. I wasn't paying attention. I coughed. We cannot hear you. Can you try to add a log 2 as a custom log 2? I don't have any that. I don't have any other LUTs that I have. So if I go here, I'll do this again since I'll go to log 2, and then I added a custom LUT, and I only have the DJIs, and this is the nicest, which is a Panasonic LUT that I downloaded. So I have to get more LUTs. Obviously, there's going to be more LUTs involved. So yeah, you can do that. I'm not going to do it right today. Like I said, I don't have any much LUTs. I mean, the DJI LUTs aren't going to work. They're specifically for DJI Action 5 and 6, 4 and 5, I mean. This one is just the Panasonic one that I've had. So it does, you can indeed do that, but I don't know the advantage, technical advantage for that. So I'm going to change this back to none, and I got to take that off. that nicest none off.
Two, and into a Lexar 2 terabyte SSD, which is necessary for recording ProRes RAW.
You apply standard transform LUTs via settings in the inspector. Let's try that. Settings. You mean this one? This one? Orientation. Codecs. Progressive. Camera LUT. Okay, there you go. Oh, here we go. Here we go. But this is going to be the same thing, though, right? Okay, so camera LUT, Apple Log 2. There's a lot of options. Somebody's got to do a technical.
Necessary for recording ProRes RAW. What do you think?
So there the camera LUT is. Blackmagic film. See, there's a lot of options, a lot of variables. So that's Apple Log 2, and I set this to RAW to log, but that doesn't, I think it looks better like this. And Apple none. I think this looks better, but I'm not sure. The log, RAW, I don't know, the LUT with the RAW and stuff. I don't know how that, exactly how that works. We need somebody to do a nice, tutorial explaining all that, because I don't know. I was kind of looking for B-RAW support. This is specifically a update for the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. Do you feel that your image looks clearer or better in RAW? Well, I'm going to use, first off, ProRes RAW is a huge file. They're very, very big. That's why I got the external SSDs. So we'll have to see. Let somebody that does technical specifications and all, somebody will come up. I just wanted to show you the first. Instead of extended, switch to settings. Okay, but I found it. Let me see. You mean general? Oh, there we go. Okay, now you taught me something. Here we go. Camera LUT, but I had it in extended too. I had it in extended as well. It's there in extended. Those LUTs are transform function to 709. You are very smart. You're telling us a lot of information today. Okay, let me just try this then. Let's go back here, Apple Log 2, and then we'll do camera LUT, Apple Log 2. Yeah, that's kind of the same as I had before. Precision mode, we'll have to see. I'm sure somebody will go through all these settings. There's too many settings for me to get involved with today. I'm going to go back to none and take this off. None. Just for today, I think this looks okay.
Hollyland Lark Max 2 and
let me go up here. RAW is not only not using any color space. You have to choose a transfer function. Color management has to come in somewhere. You know a lot more about this than I do. Thank you for telling us these things. Let Dylan and John do these tutorials. I think we'll get a lot of tutorials coming forward. But in settings, you have control over the color space too. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's good to know. Let me see what color space. Here we go. Color space, Rec 709, Rec 709, Rec 2020. I see. So you have more options in settings than you do in extended. You gave a lot of information. I'm glad you tuned in today. Can you choose ProRes levels, RAW and ProRes RAW HQ? Let me check. Let me check on the, look what I got, an iPhone 17 Pro Max. So let me check in the Final Cut camera app. Let me see what we got here. And let's see what we have. That's weird. Oh, I don't have you know what? I can't. I can't do it right now because I don't have an external drive plugged in. So I can't change the setting. I'm sure you can. Happy to. That's my job to know. Absolutely. I'm so glad you tuned in today. You taught me a lot in a few minutes on which settings to use. I recommend tutorials from Eric Lenz. He explains color transformation inside of Final Cut Pro very well. I will do that. Eric's been on the show before. We've had I've been on his show or something. I forget. We did a live session together. By the way, Tahoe and Final Cut Pro are good friends. There's better H.264 encoding now, export with dithering for translating gradients into 8-bit 420. That's another good point. I'm on Sequoia because I haven't got Ecamm Live set up on my Tahoe partition yet. So I have Tahoe and a separate volume. Not a partition, a separate volume.
Okay, I changed it.
Siri thought I was talking to her. If you thought ProRes RAW files were big, add HQ and watch it blow up. I understand. Siri thought I was talking to her. If you thought ProRes RAW files were big, add HQ and watch it blow up. I understand. Why that just came on my phone, I have no idea. It just turned itself on. No idea. But anyway, so look, I'm excited about the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. I came out yesterday and I said Final Cut Pro's got to be updated for these iPhone 17s. I thought it was going to be yesterday because Thursday is the most popular day that Final Cut Pro is updated. They never update on a Friday except for the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. This 11.2,
Unknown caller.
this 11.2 Final Cut Pro 11.2 update is all about the iPhone 17s and 17 Pro. I believe that for the widest color space on the iPhone 15 to 17 Pro, you need to use Rec 2020 HMG. Am I right? SL film? Well, let's find out. Rec 2020 HLG is always the biggest color space, even bigger than Cinema. But you need 10-bit 4224. Look at all this information we're learning today. This is fantastic. SL film, you have to keep coming back to these live streams now. Same for any camera, HLG or HDR, hard and compressed containers. So we're back tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock Eastern. And I have a feeling we'll probably be on for 2 hours. Hence the dithering. You are a very smart person. We need somebody that knows a lot about color and color space, at least in our chat. I got a feeling there'll be some more videos on YouTube now that we actually have the film. I come from DCP Mastering. As you know, we've talked about DCP last spring because I was doing a DCP for one of the, was it last spring? Yeah, one of the last springs for my film. This film over here, Raz, the documentary that we've shown in theaters, and the one theater required a DCP. So that's right, I talked to you about that. Absolutely. Make sure you message me so I can have a reference going forward. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in today. Tomorrow morning, back on my YouTube channel, Richard Taylor TV. We'll be back 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, Final Cut TV Live. We'll be on X, YouTube, and Facebook all at the same time, thanks to Ecamm Live. Ecamm Live does all that. So what the heck's going on here? Oh, yeah, I can't... well, you know what? Ah, that's why, Sebastian. Okay, that's why I didn't quite recognize you as this. Let me eject this. Let me just eject this. Okay, so now I can pull that out, and let me show you how tiny this thing is. Okay, this is the Lexar 2 terabyte SSD. 2 terabyte SSD. Now, will this fit in my... Let me see. Yes. Okay, let's go over here. Log 2. Log 2, okay. And we're going to change it to Apple ProRes RAW. No, I gotta do this. I need a little extension on this. Let me just do this then. This is better. Hopefully. Yes, that clicked in nice. So what I'm doing is I have a little USB-C dock. Lexar makes one. And I'm putting the 2 terabyte SSD right there. This dock allows me to have the 2 terabyte SSD, and I can plug in my Pro Audio. I can plug in my Hollyland little tiny receiver in the same dock. So I have 2 terabyte SSD and Pro Audio in this little teeny dock. I just want to see if we have, yeah. So the Pro camera, the Final Cut camera says Lexar. It automatically recognizes the SSD. But I'm going to see if we can do, why does it say HEVC? ProRes RAW, got that, there we go. I want to see if ProRes RAW, it also does OpenGate. ProRes RAW, yes, it does give you the choice of ProRes RAW and ProRes RAW HQ. The Final Cut camera gives you the choice of either one of those. So, absolutely. Absolutely it does. We had a question earlier about that. But you got to have an SSD plugged in. If you don't have an SSD plugged in, you don't get the options for ProRes RAW. That's why I wanted to do that. I've always recorded in ProRes LT as often as I use the magnetic mask, and it's very slow on non-ProRes files, so why not record in it instead of converting to H.265? Yeah, I agree with that. How much costs this 2 terabyte SSD? The 2 terabyte one that I just got, let me just go over here and, that's weird. Let me go over here and see. It was $187. Let me see if it still is. I just got a because I got 2 of them now. I bought this originally last year. Now I bought a second one. It's $187. Let's see here if it still is. Wow. That's incredible. That is incredible. Let's look at this for a second. It's $269, but I just got it. I'm pretty sure it was $187. So I got a really good deal on that. I bought a second one for it was $187 for the 2 terabyte. The 1 terabyte is the 1 terabyte's $135. The 2 terabyte is $269, but definitely get it with the hub. That's only 4 terabyte. Go with hub, $299. So it's like a little bit more to get the hub. Definitely get the hub if you decide to do that. So I'm going to check my price right now, what I paid for it. No, I didn't pay that. I paid, let me see something here. Go, 2 terabyte. $184.79. I paid $184.79 for it last week. So the price has gone up a lot, but this was a special. That's why I got it. If you have a camera able to record in ProRes, you do not want to record in lossy H.264 8-bit 420. Absolutely, Luke. Yes, absolutely. OpenGate is the real killer feature in combination. I'm excited about OpenGate. My Lumix cameras, my Lumix S5 Mark IIX, Lumix S2 Mark II, Lumix X, whatever the heck it is. It's an open, has OpenGate, records 6K and a 4:3 aspect ratio. I've used that before. It's a full frame camera, so that's really cool. I paid €217 for mine, but that was with the dock. Absolutely. I already had the dock, so I didn't want to buy it again. I should never go for the 1 terabyte model since it cannot record Apple ProRes internally. That's why I didn't go for the 2 terabyte version. I would have gone for the 2 terabyte version, but $400 for 1 terabyte extra, nah, that's too much. I'd rather get one of these, which is what I already have. And I agree with you, but that's not why I need at least 1 terabyte, all my phones. So I have 2 phones. I have the 17 Pro Max, and this is my 16 Pro Max. And I'll keep these 2. And next year, I'll trade my 16 Pro Max on an 18 Pro Max. This year, I traded in my 15 Pro Max on the 17 Pro Max. Absolutely. Now, here's the strange thing. First off, we want to say thank you to the Final Cut Pro team for giving us 11.2 on a Friday yet, because they do watch these live streams. I thought it was coming out yesterday. I was off by 24 hours. I thought they were going to put 11.2 out for the iPhone 17 Pro Max yesterday, because Thursday's the most common day that Final Cut Pro is updated. Instead, they did it today on a Friday, which they never put out Final Cut Pro updates on a Friday. But here they did. So I'm going to film some more tomorrow morning. I get up early. I'll go out and film some more ProRes RAW. And thanks to a comment by one of our listeners today, I'm going to make some ProRes RAW files available for you to use. And I'll have the link tomorrow in the Final Cut TV live segment, 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning. We'll be doing this again. And like I said, I'll have some clips, and I'll have Dropbox or probably iCloud. Probably I'll do in my iCloud or Dropbox. They're not going to be hour long. They're just going to be 1 minute, 2 minute clips. I'll do some different scenes around the headquarters here and let you go ahead and play with them, the people that don't have the RAW. I'm excited. This is the setup for ProRes RAW. If you don't have a case, I have a case, and the SSD won't go in the case because it holds it out. So I'm using the dock. But with this dock, I can put in Pro Audio. I can put in my Hollyland Lark Max 2. They have a little tiny iPhone receiver. It's not the big ones. It's a little tiny one. You plug in there, and it kind of balances on the Insta360. If Insta360 doesn't get a new gimbal with the 400-gram payload, I'll probably get the Hohem, because the Hohem has 400 grams. This doesn't weigh 400 grams. It weighs 320 grams, something like that. So the iPhone 18 Pro Max get the rumored variable apertures. Maybe I will need ND filters for my iPhone, recording 24 frames, 28-degree angle, recording in that for the highest amount of light. Yeah, you can adjust all that in the Blackmagic camera app. You can record all that in the Blackmagic camera app. But anyway, I have two of these Lexar 2 terabyte SSDs. I have one here, and I got a second one that I haven't even opened up yet. This is the one I paid $184 for. I haven't opened it up yet because I wanted to make sure it was going to work with ProRes RAW. Now, I'm excited about ProRes RAW for some things, not for all of my shooting. I'm going to go back to HEVC shooting in Apple Log, maybe Log 2 now. I like the smaller file sizes. For most of the stuff that I do is on social media. I don't need ProRes RAW. I just shoot HEVC Log, Apple Log, and that's really, really nice stuff. So, but for the time being, I'm going to shoot in RAW this whole weekend. I'm just going to shoot in RAW, shoot in RAW, shoot in RAW. See how the hard drives hold up. Right now, they're doing fine. They worked both in. The Final Cut camera automatically identified the SSD. As soon as I plugged it in, that's what it came up with. It said Lexar at the bottom. It immediately identified that I had an SSD plugged in, and it records to the SSD. So that's very cool. The Blackmagic camera, I had to manually set it to Files, and then the Lexar, and then I have a folder in there called Blackmagic Camera or something like that. So, tomorrow morning, tune in, youtube.com, Richard Taylor TV. We'll pick up at that point. I'm going to have more footage tomorrow morning, and I'll have a download link. I should have time to do that with some clips, some raw clips that you'll be able to download and play with in your new version of Final Cut Pro. Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. When do you think the B-RAW will be added? The B-RAW can be added at any point. I don't know if you need a Final Cut Pro update for that. I think Blackmagic has to do an extension or a plugin for Final Cut Pro. I think that's what has to happen. That can be independent of a Final Cut Pro update, I think. To me, that makes sense. B-RAW has been available in Final Cut Pro since last November. It was a Mac OS update that enabled B-RAW to be natively added to Final Cut Pro. But Apple and Blackmagic are working together to get that to happen. Blackmagic has a lot of other things on their plate. So does Apple. Look at all the updates to all the OSs they've done. All the updates. They had an update for my phone when it first came in today. It said update, iOS update already available. Final Cut Pro was updated today. Final Cut Camera was updated today. Final Cut for iPad, for all of those you on the iPad, has been updated today. Whew. Yes, it's not a big update for people that don't have an iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max, but for those of us that have the iPhone 17, thank you for doing that today. Now you can relax over the weekend. Apple makes it so easy to update. I updated the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Hold your old phone next to it. It transfers everything over. Even transfers a number over, the phone number over. So I got to send my iPhone 15 Pro Max back, and I got my two iPhones, and I can record in ProRes RAW some of the time. This weekend, for the next week or two, I'm going to record a lot of ProRes RAW. A lot of it, because I want to play around with it. We had our friend today, Sebastian, knows a lot about color space, knows a lot about color in general, and he gave us a lot of good tips tonight. So go to the Settings tab in Final Cut. Info Settings, not the extended like I had. And he said you can choose more information there. So I'm not a colorist. I'm not going to ever be a colorist. And depending on everybody else like Sebastian to tell me what to do, the best things to do. But I'm still going to shoot some raw clips. I'll have a download link tomorrow for everybody. And we'll talk more about Final Cut Pro 10.11. Final Cut Pro 10 is gone. That's Final Cut Pro 11.2 available. Oh, I want to do one more thing. I forgot to do this. What did I just do? So the Final Cut Pro user guide for the Mac has been updated. I'll put that link up here. Copy. I can put links in the YouTube channel, but everybody else can't. So there is the support document. What's new in Final Cut Pro for the Mac? Let's go over to our MacBook. And there it is. There it is. ProRes RAW settings, Apple Log 2. I'll look at some of this tomorrow before I come back on, and we'll go from there. Lots of good stuff happened today. I got my new phone. I'm very glad about that. No, I understand, Lorenzo, if you don't have an iPhone 17 Pro, but the naming is whatever it is, 11.2, 11.1/2. I don't disagree with you, but it is 11.2, so that's what we got. For those of us with iPhone 17 Pros and Pro Maxes, I'm very excited for this. Have you tried to use your iPad as a controller when filming with the Blackmagic camera app? Wonder if you can do live cutting between cameras. All kinds. I haven't. It works. I tried it, but I don't do the multicam thing live. Requires macOS 15.6 or later, right? So I'm on Sequoia, and I was on 15.4, and it wouldn't update in the App Store. I had to go down and update. I'm on 15.7 now, and I haven't got everything ported over to Tahoe yet, so that's why I'm on Sequoia. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Everybody watching, including the Final Cut Pro team, thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll be back tomorrow morning on this channel. Subscribe. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern U.S., and we'll continue our discussion. I'll have more clips to look at, and maybe Sebastian will come back on and now that I know, go to the settings tab, not the extended tab that I have. He said there's other things in the settings tab that are more important that you can set with Apple ProRes RAW. Here's our friend Thomas. Post the Final Cut Camera User's Guide link too. I will do that right now, Thomas. Let me pull that up. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Copy. Here we go. This is for the Final Cut Camera 2.0, which I downloaded today. Absolutely. And that is right here. That is right here. Where are we? MacBook. Final Cut Camera, ProRes RAW, Apple Log 2, time code in Genlock, 200mm lens. Great updates all the way around. Thank you very much, everybody who is involved with this update today. Thank you very much. We appreciate each and every one of you. Exciting times. Okay, let me go over there and grab that. Let me see where I am. I'll pull up the Final Cut for iPad. There we go. New and Final Cut Pro for iPad. Let me pull that up. Copy. And I'm going to paste it over here. Add to broadcast. Let me go back over to the main page. Add to broadcast. There is the Final Cut Pro iPad app. What's new? Final Cut Pro has been updated to iPad 2.3. iPad 2.3. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Look, I've been trying to do a Final Cut Pro radio podcast for like the last 2 months, and every time I get ready to do it, something new comes out to Final Cut. So I'll do one Final Cut Pro radio podcast, which is audio only, now that 11.2 is out. And I'll talk about the iPhone. I'll talk about ProRes. I'll talk about 11.2. I'll talk about the delay of the Final Cut Pro Creator Summit, the rescheduling to next spring. Lots of things have happened since August in the Final Cut Pro community, because that's what we're going to talk about. Anyway, there'll be a Final Cut Pro radio podcast shortly coming out. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Eastern, U.S., Final Cut TV Live will be back. We'll spend an hour, 2 hours tomorrow morning. I'll have more ProRes RAW clips. And by the way, if you're on YouTube, those links are those links that I posted. You can click on them and go right to the articles. And thanks to the team that does the articles for Apple for updating today, updating everything, having it ready to go. I thought it was going to be yesterday because that's the most common date that Final Cut Pro is updated, but they waited for the phones to come out, and thank you for putting them out. It makes my phone that much more enjoyable. Now, I do have the blue, but I got the black case, so it looks like it's a black phone. I like black better, so, but it is the blue version of the iPhone 17 Pro Max. And this is my 16 Pro Max that I'm going to keep until next year, and I'll trade it in. I got my 15's got to go back as a trade-in. So, all right, everyone, I'm going to get out of here and get some dinner tonight. I'm excited. A lot of things have happened. Thank you. Once again, Final Cut Pro team, anybody's associated with putting this update out, including the documentation, which is always, always superb. And we'll see you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern U.S. time. 10 a.m. is 7 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. GMT time, something like that. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Final Cut Pro team. Thanks, Pro Apps team. Thanks to the documentation people over there at Apple. We appreciate all of it. Thanks, Tim Cook, for getting my phone to me today. I ordered it within 2 minutes of availability, and you got it to me today. However the heck you do that, I have no idea. I'm going to get out of here, everybody. Have a great Friday evening. We'll see everybody tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. right here on this channel. Right here on this channel. YouTube.com at Richard Taylor TV. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I will talk to you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern.